Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spotlight. And this is a special featured Wednesday night version for everybody. I got to tell you, Monday nights and Mondays, I am show after show after show. So I thought, this is crazy. I can't accommodate all of this fabulous talent that I want to share with everybody. So we've decided to do a couple special edition Wednesday night showcases. I think this works out really good for our guest today, who's streaming with us all the way from Australia. But one of the great things that's going to happen is that Lorna Evans and Lorna Evans Education is coming to the USA. So woo, we're excited about that.
Sure.
Yeah, we're going to share some dates. We're going to share the programs. We're going to share everything that you want to know and why you need to attend this type of training. And I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. This is the one area where I think a lot of hairdressers struggle in. They might not feel as confident in it, and it's called long hair and long hair dressing. But I believe that when you can master these skills of doing long hair and understand the structure and the foundation of it, I believe that you can do just about anything. And I think you're going to agree with me on that one, right, Lorna?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So welcome. So Lorna is a award-winning hairstylist out of Australia. She's been doing her branded Lorna Evans Education now for how many years?
I've been educating for just over 20 years, but it's only been about 8 years since we opened the Lorna Evans Education brand. Previous to that, I had some amazing time with Matrix and Redken. Spent a fair bit of time too in the States as well with amazing Chris Barron and Sam Veer and all those team as well. So, but yeah, about 8 years on as my own independent brand.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, those are some of my favorite people. So if you're out educating with the Sams and the of the world, then you know you've got some good stuff going on here. So all right, well, we're excited to be able to hear a little bit about what your programs that you have coming up are about. Now we've got two programs that I'm helping Lorna and supporting her and promoting them. One of them is at the IBS Las Vegas show. That's kind of a little taste. She's going to provide us a little taste. She has a long-haired workshop, as well as she's going to be presenting on the main stage in IBS Las Vegas. And those dates are the 15th, 16th, and 17th of June. And you can go to ibslasvegas.com to be able to find out a little bit more about the programs that she's going to be doing there. But the really exciting thing is we actually have her coming here to Atlanta, my new hometown, in the later part of June. So it's the 23rd and the 24th for an exclusive long-haired workshop. It's going to be at the Sunlights Academy, Candy Shaw's Academy here in Atlanta. Lorna, please share with us all of what you're going to be bringing to the United States and to some very lucky stylists that are going to be able to participate in your program.
Oh, thanks, Bonnie. Well, you know, let's start with, because in Australia, we start with Hair Expo. So our biggest expo is in Sydney this year. So we will fly straight after Hair Expo. We'll have a couple of days off, only because it flew through Hawaii on the way. And I'm like, well, we could just rest up because you need to rest in between. It's good
to place to rest.
Yep. So we'll have a couple of days in Hawaii and then we'll be straight into Vegas. And I've got 2 workshops. So the first workshop is we've called Pony to Wow. And there is, and I think you will agree, the foundations of a good ponytail is massive. So what I'm doing is in that workshop, and I think it's a free workshop with any ticket to when you actually attend IBS, which is really good. It's obviously limited numbers, but we'll actually take that ponytail on a bit of a journey as well, and we'll create a nice little chignon, and we'll be making padding and all sorts of different things. So what I've tried to do is put as much content into that small amount of time as I possibly could. And then the following day, which is the Monday, so one's on the Sunday, the next one's on the Monday, I'm going to be doing it's actually called Making Waves.
What was the first one called on Sunday?
Pony to Wow.
Pony to Wow. Okay, so who would be the ideal stylist that should show up to that particular program?
That should be any hairdresser that's actually looking after a client with hair past here. You know, at some stage or another, your clients are going to go to a special occasion. They're going to come in and ask for something. And that's what I see time after time after time of the years and years and years that I've been educating in a salon, because I'm also a salon owner, is you can be the best cutter and colorist. And believe me, in my salon, cut and color is our bread and butter, but our clients go to events. So just like they do around the world. So the pony is the base. It is the base to a lot. And of course it's even just worn as the pony. So, and I think my signature in anything that I do is you've got to make your work stand out from a crowd. You can't just do, you can do a pony, but what about if we make it wow? What if we add just a little bit of something? And if you ever go on to any of my social media, you'll always try and see that I'm always trying to find just, it doesn't have to be a big thing, but it has to have a little bit of a signature of who you are that can make your work just stand out from that crowd.
Yep, that is really promoting, you know, your unique brand essence to it. And that's how you get referrals. That's how clients refer you to other clients. And you know, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a fancy updo. It's just in general, how are you promoting yourself based on how your clients are walking out of there? So, all right. So the pony the pony seems simple, I think, to most people, but it's really got a specific strategy to it in order for it to have that beautiful, clean look. And also depending on the placement, whether it's high or at the occipital bone or whether it's a low pony. I mean, those are all different strategies to achieve a clean look, right?
Of course they are. And I must admit, I'm extremely excited. And again, if there is, actually, I think it's the last post that was just on my Instagram, you can see me using a product called bungee tape. Now, I'm pretty sure bungee tape hasn't hit the States yet because he's an Australian inventor. I'm always looking for, if it hasn't been me that's actually had a bit of a play and created something, I'm always looking what everybody else is creating that's a little bit different, that will make our work faster and easier. Because at the end of the day, there's no money in long hair styling if you take too long and you don't feel confident with it, so you don't feel confident to charge. So I'm going to be bringing along with me bungee tape so that everybody can have a feel of it and see how easy that product is to work with.
Right. And there's no money in long hair if you never say yes to it either. I know a lot of people just avoid it and just don't want to go there, but you start to master some of those skills of feeling confident with long hair, and it really can open up some great avenues and some wonderful doors for you to be able to really accommodate a broader scope of clients.
So Bonnie, I've actually owned salons here in Australia for 28 years, and I can't begin to tell you how many hairdressers make the mistake of actually sending their clients to my salon for their wedding day. Now, if they don't think I'm clever enough to not actually be able to say to the client, now, if we had the opportunity to look after your colour before the wedding, when it goes up, I'll make sure that we've got some little baby lights here, we've got such and such here. I will find something to talk about with your colour. Don't send them to somebody else's salon.
Ah, yes, good point. Very good point. So the next program, so that's what we're doing. And then Making Waves is going to be on Monday at IBS Las Vegas. Again, a hands-on class. So these are usually 3-hour programs that really give you a taste of, I think, what the full amount of education could be offering. So tell us a little bit about Making Waves.
So, well, I'm going to share with you what I call my 20-minute waves today, just for, just a little bit of fun. And I call them my 20-minute waves because a lot of people run away from that, and we call it modern finger waves. So we're definitely going to be doing that. I'm going to be bringing along with me a couple of our tools. So Making Waves is all about being able to create a modern finger wave. But then what we're going to do is we're going to sew the back of the hair up. So we're going to make beautiful waves everywhere. But then we're going to do something that I believe is very, very hot in fashion, which is sexy hair. So sexy, gorgeous, glamorous hair. And, if, you know, we've all done it where we've stood in the mirror and we've put our hair up and
If only.
you only look like that. So, and it never does when you put a million bobby pins in it, does it? Never. So then you go, oh, what happened? So I'm going to show them stitching is really huge, and the stitching process that I have worked hard to actually be able to master, so that we've got pockets to pull that hair through, so the little bubbles and the little curls just becomes gorgeous and sexy. And the clients love it, Bonnie, because there's not a million pins in it. So, and every time I do a class, I've just got home from Sydney from my 2-day class there, and every single class say the same thing. Oh my God, I can't believe that there is no pins in that hair. And the model, we did a look and learn as well as a hands-on workshop in Sydney, and my model has got the heaviest, thickest red hair you've ever seen, and there was no pins to hold that up. And we made her move and do all sorts of different things to show that that stitching was holding that in place.
Wow, that's really an art, because I think that I would panic if I had to do an updo without pins. So I can appreciate the skill level that you have to do that. Now, I don't want to be rude here, but I know you've got your BFF here with you. So can you just introduce her real quick, and then I want to talk about Atlanta, because Atlanta is where the real guts and glory of learning long hair is going to come in.
Well, that's right. You know, and I should actually make sure I post some of the testimonials today from, well, like it's always fairly similar in all the classes, the testimonials or the that come in at the end, and it's not long enough. So my classes, I very rarely will do a 1-day class. I shouldn't say I don't enjoy them. I do enjoy them, but I just know that people leave wanting more. So when you go to a class and you've got 2 days, you actually walk away and you feel like you get it, because there's more to, let's just come in and just go like the clappers from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And, you know, there's more to it. So we always start with what we call the expectations of a class. And by doing the expectations and writing those on the board, I can find out what is happening in the room, because generally, well, we will definitely have made I've got my class program, but that class program sometimes can take a little bit of movement to it. So we find out exactly what is needed in that classroom, and then we start to take the mannequin on a journey, definitely starting with a pony. And we have the hot tips. For instance, how they hold their hand, Bonnie, just makes such a difference. I call it the C in the hand. You know, where the C in the hand comes from. We'll actually, we work with, what they'll notice is we work with loads and loads of different tools that they've probably never used before. So they've definitely got to come with an open mind. And we take them on that journey for 2 days. The 2 days go from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. I've played around with different timing, thinking, oh, let's do more hours and get more in. But by then, it's all about hands-on education. I think we all know that the stats are that if you actually see it, do it.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks' time, you generally remember 70 to 90% of it. So 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, there is an awful lot of what we call giving you the tools, and the tools are the techniques. So the tools in your head, so that when a client does bring in a photograph, and I've seen this happen, they bring in a photograph of a hairstyle, and like, that's lovely, I'll be back in a minute. And they run out the back and they say to their friend, how do I start? Where do I start with that?
Where do you start?
My aim in the 2 days is to make sure that by the time you've got your next styling client, you can look at this picture and break it down like a jigsaw puzzle, and be able to know what the tools are, which is your techniques, to be able to look after it.
And what's the class called in Atlanta?
Long Hair Secrets Unlocked.
Long-haired secrets. So 2 days, long-haired secrets. Now, there is definitely something to be said about 2 days, because one of the things that happens with adult learners is we have to unlearn what we already know. And the unlearning part is like emotional baggage.
Yeah.
We get frustrated, and then we all have a fear response that shows up. Sometimes the fear response is getting mad, or getting frustrated with yourself. Sometimes the fear response is freezing and not being able to think that you can do it because it's not making sense. You're processing it. And then the other fear response that happens with adult learners is they flee. So they'll just kind of like step away and they'll just like act like they're doing it and they're participating, but they're not engaged anymore. And, you know, if we can recognize that as adult learners, as ourselves and as instructors to adult learners, we can help people overcome that bridge. And you can't do that sometimes in a 3-hour class or even a 1-day class. Sometimes it does take that transformational timeline to be able to make that happen for them to feel comfortable with it and have a little freedom of what they just learned. So I appreciate the 2-day classes. Tell us a little bit about what kind of instructor are you? What kind of a teacher and leader are you with people? Because it's intimidating to learn new techniques.
Oh, absolutely. So I think I spent more time learning how to teach than I have passion. The passion of styling is, you know, you only have to look on our website and go to collections. A passion of styling, that's there. But learning how to actually make sure that what I'm going to teach is actually being able to be passed on to a student, that's actually what I've spent years and years and years being able to work on. I paid for myself to come over to New York, and we did a week with Sam and Chris, and we did platform artistry, so that I learned so much from that. It wasn't funny. So all my years with all different companies called Rogen and so forth. And so the style of teaching that I do is you have to read the room. You have to read the room and take everything down to bite-sized pieces. It's not intimidating. And I love, so there was a live that we did on, I think it was Tuesday in Sydney. And I would have to say that most of the people that would be in my class would say that it's not intimidating. They, you know, when you walk into a class and you go, oh my God, you know, I'm just so scared.
I'm so afraid to look stupid.
Yes.
Is what
so
we're thinking. Yeah.
We take that out the minute they walk in the door. You know, the minute that you walk in the door, it's about them, and it's not about me. It's about me being able to share my passion. And I think that is a skill that's not, it's a separate to the hairdressing side of it, to be perfectly honest.
Well, we've got Lisa Enyos and Patrice Daniels, and they're all saying, we love you, you're great, you're awesome. Becky Campbell's watching. Hi, Becky, thanks for joining us. And our dear friend Bernadette is watching as well.
Good morning, Bernadette.
Oh, that's right. It's a good morning to our Australian friends. Yeah, and good evening to my USA friends. Okay, so I'm going to post the link on Facebook here in just a second for everybody to attend the Atlanta program. So you have, it's what, 30 people max for this hands-on workshop? Because you've got an assistant coming to support you. And then what's the price that we need to know?
Oh, now you've caught me. I think that it works out in American dollars. Oh, gosh, you've caught me there now. I think it's about, oh, gosh, can you look it up from there?
I want to say I can look it up from here. Yeah. Why don't while I'm looking it up and posting a few things here to our friends online with us, tell us a little bit more about the program, and then let's see some of, because I know you're going to take your BFF here and have some fun with her in a minute.
Gorgeous. She's gorgeous. So, well, the 2-day program, we will definitely, I think you've got to start with the clean. So we always start with the clean as much as, so all the looks that we'll actually be going through, it's almost like they're taken on a journey. I can honestly tell you that it will be looks that will be commercial. So if you have a look at some of my work, you might look at it and go, it's very avant-garde, and I get that asked a lot. I think the avant-garde work is really important. It's really important for me as an artist to do avant-garde work every now and again, but to put money in the till, which is what this class is about, is it's commercial looks. And I'm always having a bit of a play, something new. So the little new thing, for instance, that we threw into the Sydney class, literally threw it in on the second day, was the bushels braid that is huge at the moment, but I made my own little spin on it. So everything that they'll be learning, they will be able to actually use straight away.
Oh, good. I think that's important, because it looks and appears like first of all, texture and waves and all of that is very popular right now. I think the shag coming back in and having hair that moves. So if you're doing updos, you want them to move too.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And, there's two bits of theory that we have, and I obviously time-wise we can't go through it. I've got it on a little PowerPoint that maybe we could do that first. But the two bits of theory that I always go through is my jigsaw puzzle theory to long hair styling, and also my 4 keys to long hair, which are almost like your little rules. So they can actually go back to those and be able to go, if something did go a little bit pear-shaped, well, let's just go back and have a little look at, what it was. What did I miss out on doing? So, and then we go straight into it. And it's always visual. I think we have to be visual about what we do. So we've always got something on the screen so that they can actually look at it. And then I will break it down into little bite-sized pieces so that they can go off and then have their little time to do that as well.
Yeah. So June 23rd and 24th, 2 days, Atlanta. It's at Candy Shaw's Sunlights Academy. So if you haven't seen this academy, you have to. I'm actually doing a program there in September, the Stages 2-day branding and speaking workshop. So I'm excited to utilize her space as well. It's really convenient, you guys, to be able to get to, not too far from the airport at all. And it's a beautiful time to be in Atlanta come June. So definitely enjoy us there. All right. Did you want to pop on the PowerPoint?
Yeah, let's see if we can.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the work that Lorna does and check out some of the fun that she's doing.
Let's have a little look. Okay, so so you can see that okay?
Yeah, looks great.
Cool. Okay, so if you have a look at this shot, actually, I've popped this one on the front cover, just to show you. One of the classes that we do here in Australia is a masterclass, and this is actually on the last day of the masterclass, and it's my students. So we actually do a couple of days on the mannequins, and then we actually end with a photo shoot. And the reason I love to put these shots up is because you can see people's confidence grow from day one all the way through to this photo shoot. And this particular shot was done with, was actually created by a hairdresser who had hardly done any styling whatsoever. I think she'd been in the industry for about 6 years, but long hair styling, she was terrified of it, terrified. So this is my 4 keys to long hair. It's part of we have a workbook, and it's part of our workbook where we go through all the stages and all the little bits and pieces, that can go that little bit of pear shape. So, which has gone really well. Very, very, very well received has been my jigsaw puzzle theory. It's about making sure that you can look at that picture and that you get it. You get it. So here's what I want to show you today with my modern way. Yeah.
Really, really beautiful. I think every hairdresser has a desire to be able to do work that looks like that. I think they just need a little instruction, right?
And it actually looks, that's why I've brought around my BFF, as you call her. It actually looks like it's going to be daunting and hairdressers run away from it. So what I have tried very, very hard to do is to be able to, I've created a couple of different products to make it, or tools I should say, to make it a little bit easier. And this is the actual look that we will be doing, by the way, in Vegas as well. So on the waves, on making waves. So
wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and this particular shot, by the way, that's at the back of my hot tips to modern waves, that was also created by one of my students who is a makeup artist. And I don't know about there in America, but in Australia, our makeup artists are expected to be able to do some styling. Is that the same there in the States?
It is. Yeah, it definitely is. And I know that some of them that have done really well with makeup end up going through a cosmetology program to master the skills a little bit more. But sometimes I see the makeup artists just being able, they have no fear. They just go right into it.
It is so true. So true. Oh, it's very true. Well, this girl was
less. I don't know.
Yeah, she was amazing. So my hot tips preparation. I can't begin to tell you how much the preparation makes such a difference. And I know this sounds really funny, but a good curl in its pli and in its set, if you felt her now, a good curl is a crispy curl to start with. When you brush it, it's not crispy anymore, but it means that it is set in there really well, and I don't need 10 cans of hairspray to kill it. So your set is really important. And the moulding and clipping and secret pinning. So that's sort of what I wanted to share with you. You know, these are sort of starting to get a little bit more editorial, but I wanted to keep it simple. So if I stop that share, would you like me to show you some of my tips too?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so before we go there, I do see the pricing here. It's, guys, I just want to say, first of all, because the dollar between Australia and USA is crazy town, and it works in our favor like you would not believe. What you are getting for 2 days with Lorna is an absolute bargain. So if you don't take advantage of coming here, you're crazy, because the pricing is $631.75 when you convert it from Australian dollars. And I know that's probably well below what you charge and everything in Australia and everything. So you guys, this is a bargain. Now I do see that there's a price of $315. Are you doing, is there a way people can come in and not do the 2 days but still be a part of it?
That would be your deposit. So you'll see that there's 2 drop down boxes. That would actually be, they can just pop their deposit in so that they can break their payments up.
Okay, perfect. So you can make it in 2 payments, but $631, unbelievable, crazy. But I thank you for being so generous and coming out here to be able to share this level of education with us at a really great price. All right, are you gonna? Okay. Yeah, show us some tools here.
Okay, so I'll start with, so I'm going to show you obviously what I did with the waves, but I'm going to share with you some of the, I'm always looking for things to make our life a little bit easier. So this is my magnetic tool belt. So I'm always trying to come up with something that is a lot easier. We have it in black as well as in gold. And I think that's one thing that we really love to do, is be able to make things a lot easier. For my waves, what I've created is I've actually created a curved comb. So the head's not straight. So why on earth would I actually go in trying to do some waves with a straight comb? So that was something that we had put together. So I can go on for so long on all the different tools, but for today's purposes, let's get straight into what we have got on our beautiful little lady over here. I've just taken away the back, so we're only going to be working on this front section, which I think for students is really good to actually break it down and not make something be so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So it really doesn't need to be overwhelming. So my section pattern that I have taken is literally, we have taken a side parting and then I've triangled off that side parting here. I've split the parting, or split the triangle, into 2. So we call this channel 1 and this one here channel 2. Now it's what we call a directional set. So all of channel 1 has all been set forward. And I know we haven't got a lot of time here, but we have set it on base. So that's one thing that we really do go into, is the fundamentals of setting. Very, very important to know when to set on base, when to set off base, when to set over direction. So we've got 3 on base coming forward, and then the second section, I've literally got 2 on base coming backwards. So it's a directional set. So remember what I said about a good curl is a crispy curl. My job now is to comb out that crispy curl. Now, generally, if you looked at all those pictures that we had created before, you can already see she's actually set there already. If I had all of this area at the back all being set, it was in pli, whatever it would be, when I go to actually comb it out, I'm going to end up messing up all of this. So one of the things that we use, believe it or not, and there's a lot of things, by the way, that I use that people go, really? And I'll go give it a go, and they go, that actually really, really, really works. We basically take this little piece of plastic and we will place it over the top of whatever it is we do not want to disturb. So can you see I've now got something to actually be able to work on top of. So I'm going to take my curve comb, and what you're going to think about is you've got forward C's and backward C's, which is why I've got the curve. So what I'm doing is I'm going to allow the comb to actually do most of the work. I'm then going to marry it up with one of my gold clips. So I had my clips made so that they were longer. When you feel them, and I'll be bringing these with me, they're stronger, and of course they're gold, and they marry to here. I'm then going to, and you'll notice when I pop it in, I'm going to be using, which is the brother to my curve comb, my big tail comb. So, and you'll be able to see what I'm going to do with that in just a tick. So I always teach everybody show me birdie finger, because we're doing modern finger waves. So if you're doing modern finger waves, it's not a gelled set where we're doing this kind of work. We need to keep that finger up so that I can place in my waving clamp. So I'm going to come through, there's my birdie finger, and I'm going to sweep it towards you. And then once I've swept it towards you, I'm literally going to let the comb do the work for you. So I've just laid the comb down. I'm going to place the clamp in place just like so. I'll take my big tail comb and I'm going to just slide that underneath and just pick it up so that what you're doing is you're catching from underneath. Now, a lot of people think when they get to this stage, oh, hang on a minute, I really wanted to get height. Hold that thought, because once you've taken this out, we'll be able to raise that back up again. The number one thing we're working on is being able to get that crease in the wave stronger. Okay, so we go on to our next section, which is we've done our forward C. Now we're going to do our backward C. So I'm just really letting the comb do its work for them. So you can see my comb is sitting up. Now I'm going to lay it down flat onto the head and just move it slightly. So it's not hard. It just took out a lot of the pain behind it. You're not dealing with a massive section. And if you think back on the blonde, you know, the blonde, gorgeous black and white look, this is how big that section was. So it's not daunting to have to work with. And pop that up like so. And take my next section. And again, my birdie finger is very, very important to what I'm working with. And can you see how I'm working on top of that piece of plastic? I'm allowing the base of that just to do all my work for me. I think this is the biggest thing with our education too, Bonnie, is finding the problem and solving the problem. That I think is what my job is find the problem that hairdressers are having, let's solve it and have a bit of fun with it and don't make it so daunting anymore. Let's get one more. So you can see just lying there. And also keep it like hair. That's one big thing I think with hairdressing is there's a lot of times where people have said to me, you know what, I would go and have my hair styled more often at the hairdressers if my hairdresser wouldn't make it look like a piece of plastic by the time I've left. Because at the end of the day, hair has to still look sexy, doesn't it? It doesn't have to be, everything's hair up, oh good, let's just pull out 10 cans of hairspray and spray the living life out of it. So it's not, you know, it's not really going to be what's going to make the hair beautiful. So I'm actually using an American product too. Is Unite quite popular in America? Yeah. So yeah, so I use, I'm using the Unite product. So little bits. My hairspray always sounds like ch. It never sounds like ch. As soon as it sounds like ch everywhere, it means that what's happening is you are really overloading it. So we talk about layering little bits at a time. Okay, generally this would be allowed to set while you worked with the back. So if we were doing some stitching, this would be setting while that's actually coming out. So over here, I've got my magnet on my wristband and I've got tiny little mini pins. So if I was to go through and just take each clamp out one by one, what would happen is I would have lost control of exactly what's going to happen. So I'm going to take them out one by one and do what we call secret pinning. So secret pinning is a really important part of the kind of pinning that I teach. So there's lots of different kind of pinning that we do. We do closed pinning, we do scaffolding, we do tunnel pinning, because your pinning is really, really important because you don't want to see them and you don't also want it to be, you don't want to have too many pins. Does that make sense? So for this particular section, in what I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using some long ripple pins. So they are quite long and we call these the scaffolding pins. If I was a builder building a building, I wouldn't finish my building and leave my scaffolding over the top of the building, would I? I would always take them away. And that's what I believe these pins are there for. I have worked with some fabulous session stylists over the years who have done the whole look using these pins, and it does look fabulous. However, if you're doing bridal work, evening work, in the sunlight, they can be tricky to hide this little piece. So that's why I teach my secret pinning. So I'm going to take my little tiny bobby pin. So in my kit, I've actually got all sorts of different size bobby pins. We have our normal size bobby, we have our large bobby, and then we have our baby. And of late, I don't know whether this is timely, can you see that there? So this is my king pin that I've designed, which is for the big pinning. So I've actually designed a double action pin to make the really thick. So can you see we've got a bobby pin here and a sectioning clip here with this really unique little piece here. So they get to get their hands on something different, which to me, when you're using different tools, as long as it works and it takes away some of that pain, to me, if you ask me, it keeps my life exciting as well. So, okay, I'm going to take out just one of my clips and just allow my long fringe pin to do my work. I'm going to take my pin and I'm going to take my pin and put it to the side. So it's not up, it's not down, it's actually to the side. I'm going to stand behind my work and I'm going to drag the pin towards me. So stand behind my work and drag the pin towards me. Can you see now that it's quite safe for me to take out that next waving clamp and start to move? Now, start to move the hair. So this is where everybody goes, oh, I'm too scared to move it. You don't be scared of it. And also look at your jawline. We want to start to place this down to the jawline. I do have a bit of a laugh and say, no woman ever said, give me a double chin, did they? So if you create your wave to be anchoring in, if you really think of all the wave shots that I've done, have a really good look at them, because it's the first thing that I do is we stand back and we look, and we might just move it half a centimetre so that it is looking for that jawline to get that balance, okay? And again, we'll do some secret pinning going straight through. And that word secret pinning is so important, because it's a secret because you're not being able to see it. Now, one of the things that you may have noticed is I haven't pulled out a can of hairspray. So because remember what we talked about, a good curl is a crispy curl. So when you're wanting hairspray, it's just enough to give you a little bit of control and finish. So it's nothing other than control and finish that you're working with it. I'll just load myself up with a few more pins. Oh, am I allowed to say one little, I can't put it on Instagram or so forth, but just when I went to my bag then, a couple of weeks ago, Lady Gaga's hairdresser bought my leather bag, which was quite exciting. So, which is great. It's great to see our tools actually starting to get over to the States. Sam, if anybody's actually after one of our wristbands as well, they're actually on Sam's website.
On Sam Via's?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually he's our distributor of the wristband there. And
nice. You've made the big time if Lady Gaga's hairdresser bought you.
Yeah, you know what? I was very excited over that one. So Frederick's a beautiful hairdresser, and you know what? It's exciting to watch. But how good a client has he got? So, so can you see? Basically, all I'm doing is starting to go all the way through using my secret pins just to pin this into its place and make it live a little bit. Keep it living. So we talked about being able to start to bring this up a little bit. So I'm going to just give it a little bit more hairspray for control, not for hold. Your hold, by the way, is in the preparation, and that's what we spend a lot of time on. The preparation that goes in at the start is actually really, really, really important so that we're not ruining it with too much hairspray. So once we've actually finished and we're wanting to just do a little bit of polish, rather than going to more product, I'm going to show you one of the little tricks that we have been using for many, many years. And I'm quite looking forward to, in a couple of weeks' time, you'll actually notice that there's little pockets that I've had made. So this little baby here is what we call a styling needle. Of course, it's a knitting needle. We just put our sticker on it, and this works. If you haven't seen me do beautiful big rolls with this, it just takes so much. When you're doing a French roll, you know what, I see people and they're almost like being contortionists. So this is what we use this for. We use a lot of satin to really, really silk up a lot of our very, very, very smooth look. If you go onto my website and you see some of the really beautiful smooth work that we do, you'll always see that I have satined and put added heat. So what I'm doing is I'm combining the actual rod with the satin. So I'm actually having at the moment, I'm having these gorgeous little bags made so that it comes in it, so you can use it for two different things. And just have a little look. I don't know if, I'm hoping you can see nice and close from there. When it comes to polishing, rather than too much product, if you actually just use the rod and the satin together, the difference in that polish is huge, absolutely huge. It just takes away those fluffies. Can you see that? It just takes away those fluffy little pieces without having to use too much product. Let's bring those little babies back into there. And you can also see she's actually living a little bit. So when we are in my classroom, that's really, really important, is that the living of the hair. Can you see how we're starting to just fall down? It's not TV work that we're doing. It's not film work. It's gorgeous, natural work. Actually, one of these, if everybody keeps an eye on my Instagram stories today, there is a beautiful student of ours who came to a class in Coffs Harbour last year, and she sent me the most beautiful message. I'm going to share it today, and I'm going to share a bride that she did exactly this and the stitching on, and you should see this bride. She's just gorgeous, and what Mindy said was just lovely, and really what it was I was terrified to do this kind of work, and I'm so proud of what you've done. And that is, as an educator, we've also got, and it was shared on a closed Facebook, we keep contact in a Facebook page called Students, Lorna Evans Education Students Connect. So after a class, it's not like, okay, great to see you, cheerio. You know what? That's what is fabulous, is actually being able to see what they've created after they've actually been into the class. Because I think we'll all agree it's what you do when you leave a class that actually makes the difference. If you leave a class and you actually don't go and practice something, you may have wasted your time. So I hope you got something out of that.
Beautiful. Give us another side look of your your girlfriend there. Oh, very nice. Really.
Yeah.
And you did, Lorna, you did make that look so easy, and you made it look like I really do believe I could do that.
Yeah, you know, you want to hear something funny? When we work at expos, and anybody who ever deals with anything of what we do, they may have either talked to or had some communication with my husband Russell. And Russell's not a hairdresser, and he actually says, "I think I could do those waves now, Lorna."
I bet. Yeah, absolutely. I bet. Well, it's been amazing watching you. So I certainly did see the quality of the educator that you are, and all the little tips and tricks that you added in there to be able to help people continue to feel more confident. But your tools, and Lisa has said this as well on Facebook, the tools that you have, I get how unique they are, and how much easier they're going to be able to make this whole process of people feeling more confident with long hair. So will you be bringing some of your tools out to Vegas and Atlanta?
Oh, for sure. I will be
for attendees. Yeah.
Yeah, we basically, I think that we bring what's called our class set. So we bring a class set, and big hello to Lisa, by the way. Lisa is going to be my assistant.
Oh,
so,
wonderful. Yeah.
So big hello to Lisa. I love Lisa's work as well. So it'd be great to connect. But yes, we will bring our kingpins, we will bring our big tails, our curve combs, my padding mix, the satin. We'll bring bungee tape with us, bungees. I said kingpins. What else? All the different bits and pieces that we have. I also love using Daniel Rowland, who's I think he's New York based. I use his stitch a lot. I also have some, a couple of little quirky little odd things, but they work. So I will be bringing all my bits and pieces that I believe can make your work faster, easier, and just more beautiful and fun. At the end of the day, my classroom has to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I put the link up on Facebook, you guys, and you're going to see an entire campaign of me promoting it out, which will go on to Hairdresser Advice, so you can stay in touch with it and participate in either the Vegas at IBS show, or come to Atlanta and do the 2-day program that I think will be fabulous to be able to really feel confident in the end of that. What is your Instagram handle?
It's Lorna Evans Education.
Okay, perfect. So we can all find you at Lorna Evans Education. The link that I sent to you guys, that's where you can sign up, but it's also an opportunity for you to check out everything else that Lorna does, some of her other work, some of her other products. And then Lorna, will you give us how do you want people to connect with you if they've got a few questions or want a little more information?
Sure. Feel free you can either direct message me on Instagram or on our Facebook page, which is also Lorna Evans Education. Not a problem whatsoever. Or you can email info@lornaevanseducation.com.au. But we always answer all your questions. So, don't be afraid. I think that's one of the biggest thing about our education is that I love to hear people say that we're approachable and, they feel comfortable, and that's what we want to create before we even get there.
Absolutely. Well, it's been fantastic. All right, IBS Las Vegas, June 15th through the 17th. She's doing 2 hands-on classes, and then she's also got a main stage performance to be able to show some of her finished work. Then on June 23rd and 24th, she's coming here to Atlanta. She's going to be at the Sunlights Academy location, which is just right here in Atlanta. So it's easy access to the airport. We've got information, hotels, and all that other stuff to be able to set you up with. So it can be a really, really easy opportunity for you to come into Atlanta and take advantage of these dates in June. I don't know the price of the IBS classes, but please go to their website, ibslasvegas.com. And then, of course, the link that I provided for the 2-day hands-on class is right here on the Facebook page. But you go to Lorna Evans Education. If you go to workshops, you'll see the Atlanta one. Click on that. And the price is really good, you guys. So take advantage of it. She can only take up to 30 attendees, 30 students. So I'm looking forward to being able to host you here in Atlanta and spend some time with you live and in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait. It'd be really, really cool. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for everyone that's joined too.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And I know that we're going to get more views on this as we kind of progress. But don't wait, you guys, till the last minute to be able to buy your ticket. Get it now, because you also have an opportunity to do a down payment and then pay the remaining balance prior to the program. So, Lorna, thank you so much for not just sharing with us your amazing tools, but also taking the time to do a live technique for us so that we can see how fabulous you really are.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you guys, you can find Lorna Evans on the Beauty Agent Network as well. And remember that if you're an educator and you're looking to get a little bit more marketing promotion and have somebody validate your amazing skill sets, that's what I'm here for. And you can go on to the beautyagentnetwork.com and find out about how to be a network member and get some additional promotion and PR from our organization. But if you're a salon owner and you're looking for an educator, it's the resource for you to be able to go on there, pop on there. And if you can't find somebody you're looking for, feel free to connect with me directly at bonnie@thebeautyagents.com and let me know who you're looking for, because I can certainly make that contact for you and help you out. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.